All right, guys, so the holy grail of fitness, building muscle and losing fat at the same time. What should you do first? That's what today's video is about. I'm JosiahNovak with The True Transformation. If you're ready to build some muscle and lose fat at the same time, you should check out today's video. Let's jump into it right now. All right, guys, so you might be wondering, can you build muscle and lose fat at the same time? And I'm here to tell you that the answer is maybe. That's probably not the answer you're looking for. You probably want clear direction. So let me give you the first thing you should do when it comes to building muscle and losing fat at the same time. And the first thing is you should make sure that you are at a healthy body fat percentage. And I'll explain to you why. First and foremost, building muscle is going to require, more than likely, that you add a little bit of fat to your body, okay? It's gonna come down to calories in and calories out. To build muscle, you need to take in slightly more calories and at least enough protein to be able to sustain and support new muscle tissue on your body. So if you're starting out from a high body fat percentage, meaning probably over 15% body fat, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to start adding more fat. Your body's not gonna be operating as effectively as it could when it's at higher body fat percentages that are technically unhealthy. I know it sounds like common sense, but most people don't think about this when they're thinking about building muscle, because some of you, and you might be watching this thinking this is me, some of you might be starting at what I call a skinny fat physique, right? Where you're not carrying as much muscle as you want, but you're also carrying too much body fat. And that's a tough place to be, but I guarantee it's not impossible to fix. And I'm gonna outline a couple things that you should do first when trying to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. But rule number one is make sure you get rid of that excess body fat and get down to a place of healthy body fat percentage. That's number one. All right, so if you're someone who is struggling to get rid of the skinny fat physique and you're like, hey, I need more muscle, and I know Josiah said I gotta lose fat, but I don't wanna get too skinny and feel too small. Well, let me give you some encouragement. If you set up your training properly, and I'm gonna explain to you what that looks like in a second, you can effectively at least maintain all the muscle you have and start to slowly build more muscle while you strip off the body fat. And the good news is losing fat in most cases is a much faster process than building muscle. Building muscle takes time. For example, I started working out when I was 13. Don't make fun of my age, guys, but I'm 35 going on 36. So I've been effectively at this for over 20 years. And I've built a decent amount of muscle, but it didn't come overnight. Now, on the flip side, I at one point was 70 pounds overweight, and I managed to lose all that weight in 1 year. Yeah, 1 year it took me to lose 70 pounds. So 20 years of working out, building muscle, 1 year of consistent effort with losing fat. Now I can live at a healthy body fat percentage the rest of my life. So it's not gonna take you forever to lose that fat, but I would suggest that you start by getting rid of the excess body fat while training for muscle. Let me walk you through what that looks like right now. So number two is we wanna set up our training to effectively build muscle, even if it's a slower process. So what that looks like is, number one, we need to be training for strength in different rep ranges. So usually between 4 to 6 reps, 8 to 12 reps, and then occasionally going a little bit higher. But the bread and butter is that 8 to 12 rep range. That's that hypertrophy rep range, which is just a fancy term for muscle size. But it's not enough to ignore strength and just go for hypertrophy. So you wanna throw in some strength work too, specifically on what I call the big compound movements. Overhead press, some kind of vertical and horizontal press. So vertical would be overhead, horizontal would be something like flat dumbbell bench press. We wanna take care of our rows, so a vertical and horizontal row. So a pull down or pull up, and then a seated row or dumbbell row. And then our squats, and then if you're deadlifting, you can throw deadlifts in there too. Those are the big movements that recruit the most muscle fibers, so getting stronger on those movements over time in the 4 to 8 rep range is gonna lend itself really well to not only building muscle, but holding on to the muscle that you have. So in terms of how often should you train, 3 to 4 days a week where you're hitting every muscle group at least one time, preferably maybe 2 times, with enough total volume, meaning enough weight, enough sets, enough reps to at least stimulate new muscle while you're stripping away the fat is gonna be key. That's how you set up a workout plan that will, at worst case scenario, maintain the muscle that you have. Let's move on to a nutrition tip, number 3, in order to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. All right, number 3, guys, is you wanna make sure you're focusing on calories and protein. I've beaten this like a dead horse. Like it's something that will never change. Calories and protein are gonna be huge, but the key here is to not go too low, too aggressive with your calories. Because at that point, you're gonna be putting yourself in a full-blown fat burning phase. There's not gonna be enough fuel to support muscle building, and you're gonna end up just losing fat, which is cool, but you might start to feel a little too skinny. So I would make sure that you're never going more than 500 calories below your maintenance in a fat loss / muscle building plan. That's enough to support a good amount of fat loss, but still give you enough fuel for good workouts. And then also, coupled with that, getting enough protein. I suggest at least 1 gram per pound of target body weight. If you want to go a little higher than that, it may not be a terrible idea if you're struggling to get over the skinny fat physique. And if you're a guy who's over the age of 30, going into your 40s, and you're starting to think about, has my testosterone coming down? You know, am I getting the right amount of food? Or is my hormone levels where they need to be? Keep your protein and your calories in a good place. That's gonna support your hormonal levels. It's gonna help you build more muscle, long-term and short-term, and not put you in this crazy fat loss phase where you're hungry all the time, energy's low, libido's low, all the terrible things that we don't want when trying to transform our bodies. So make sure you're getting enough protein, make sure you're getting enough calories, not going too low in calories. That's gonna support both muscle and fat loss at the same time. Last tip, bonus tip for you, this is gonna be huge. Make sure, if you're really dead serious about building more muscle and losing fat simultaneously, don't forget your sleep, all right? Sleep is such a hack. It's a big time shortcut to seeing better results. If you're going, and trying to get by on 4 hours of sleep, just struggling through the day, pounding caffeine, energy drinks. I mean, we've all been there. I've been there. When I had my first kid and my second kid, my sleep was just awful. But if we can start to get better sleep, cut out the late night Netflix, cut out the screen time on your phone, scrolling TikTok or whatever you're doing, get that out of your life if you're dead serious about losing fat and building muscle. Get that 7 to 8 hours of sleep, if at all possible. That's gonna help tremendously when it comes to transforming everything about your physique. All right, guys, wrapping up today's video. Hope this helped. Look, as we said in the beginning, if you want to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, do this first. Get to a lean state, 15% body fat or less. That's going to help optimize everything about the process. And then the rest will fall into place as you continue through the entire journey that is body transformation. If you need more help with this, I have a whole guide. It's in the first comment. As always, it's the Look Good Naked guide. It's going to get you started on this entire process. It's not your standard PDF. It's got a lot of stuff, plus some bonus video trainings that we're gonna help you get on the right path when it comes to transforming your body. If you haven't already, subscribed to the channel, leave me a comment. Let me know what your goal is right now. Are you trying to lose fat or build muscle or both? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, I'm JosiahNovak with thetruetransformation.com. I'll see you on the next one. Remember, life moves fast. Make it count. Peace.